Clients, results and evaluation. Yo-yo test results. We tested your aerobic capacity and used an online converter to evaluate your results. Your results were distance run 600 meters, VO2 max 41.4. Looking at the normative data, you can see that your results are below average for a female of your age. This means that your supply of oxygenated blood to your muscles is less than optimal, and this affects your body's ability to work at high intensity and will affect performance levels. To improve this, we recommend working to improve your aerobic capacity by doing HIIT training, high intensity interval training. At the high intensity period, your body will use ATP from the anaerobic system, but in the recovery period it will need to work its aerobic system to replace the energy spent. The HIIT training should be used separately, though, so no more than 2 sessions of 45 minutes of high intense interval training per week to prevent overtraining. Low intensity steady state training, LISS, can also be used to improve aerobic capacity. It is a steady working rate over a longer length of time, which is a lower stress form of training than HIIT, high intensity interval training, and is a good method to use alongside high intensity interval training for cross training. Due to it being less intense, we will be looking to do this more often, of 3 sessions a week for about an hour. Cross training is another way that we can aim to improve your aerobic capacity. For example, completing a high intensity interval training on one day and a low intensity steady state training run on day 2 and a circuit training activity on day 3 will reduce the risk of injury and overtraining and will work the muscles in different ways, developing stronger aerobic capacity. It's important us to monitor the results from the test, as it will give us a baseline level of your aerobic capacity and fitness. From the baseline, which we can monitor your improvements during the training program and amend it if accordingly to maximize your improvements. The yo-yo test is one of the most valid maximal fitness tests that can be performed because it is simple to complete and there are plenty of useful data results that can be compared, making it a useful tool for coaches to compare athletes to similar standards. It uses accurate equipment to record the runs, eliminating human error, such as not seeing if a client misses the line. It's a reliable test as the gates are very efficient and effective and don't allow many mistakes. As you are a young, fit netball player with reasonable levels of fitness, this is a suitable test. It's also very accessible, so will not be a problem purchasing any of the equipment for this test. Normative data for the yo-yo test. 30-meter sprint test results. We tested your speed in the 30-meter sprint test. We saw that you have a speed of 4.89 seconds, and looking at the normative data, we can see that your results are a little below average by a 0.01 second. This means there is scope to improve your speed to average or even above average levels. We will improve your speed by using plyometric training, such as doing 3 sets of 10 reps bent knee hip thrusts on a ball or bench and slowly increase the reps. This will improve your isometric and eccentric hamstring strength. Care will need to be taken to avoid injuries as plyometric training is high intensity training with more likelihood of injuries happening. You should look to do these tests about 4 times a week of 3 sets of 10 reps so that you do not do each test correctly, preventing any injury and allowing time to have a warm-up at the beginning to prevent any muscle injuries. The test is important as it allows us to find out your baseline speed and how much we have to improve it for better performance, getting free and losing your defender, or keeping tight on your player in defense in netball. The 20-meter sprint. The 30-meter sprint test is a valid and reliable test when conducted with electronic timing gates. This test is valid as it doesn't allow any human error or timed runs. This makes it very trustworthy, a trustable way of calculating somebody's maximal speed. Due to the gates, it also makes it reliable as it doesn't allow much error to occur. However, the gates can be expensive to purchase, meaning that the equipment is not very accessible due to being expensive. This test is a maximal test as it uses the performer's maximal force to be done properly. Forestry step test results. We did a forestry step test to test the muscular endurance in your leg. Your results was 38. Looking at the normal data, we could see that your results were at the high end of average, which is good. However, by improving your muscular endurance just a little more would get you to the next level of a very good. To improve muscular endurance training, you will need to have lower weights of 5 kg or 10 kg with more reps to improve your quadriceps and hamstrings in the legs, e.g. resistance training like 20 lunges, 10 with one leg and 10 with the other. And weighted vests and with weighted vests and 15 to 25 reps for 3 sets. Another way to improve muscular endurance is to work on power drills like squats with low or to moderate 10 to 15 kg weight vests or holding a disc plate weight, and plyometric training, which will increase your power, meaning you will be able to go longer for faster periods of time. To add variation, long distance running with low weighted vests of about 10 kilograms to add resistance and increase the intensity while still keeping aerobic based activity. I recommend you alternate the method of training and do no more than 3 sessions of about 1.5 hours per week for muscular endurance to minimize muscle injuries. This test is important for you as shows you have a good muscular endurance, but that we can work towards improving your endurance to help your perform better in matches. Muscular endurance in the legs is very important for players as they have to run long periods in the game. So it is an important component of fitness to include in your training program. The validity of this test is high as a netball player has to be able to endure long periods of time exerting power into the legs when jumping and running, making it a valid test. The test is also very reliable for us because even though it only shows the muscular endurance in the legs, it was what we specifically wanted to measure. This test is very accessible to set up, as all you need is a bench or step and a stopwatch. This means it is also cheap to purchase the equipment. Finally, it's also a sub-maximal test, as you are not using all your maximal power as you are doing the test at a low intensity for a long period of time. Sit and reach test results. You had 3 attempts and finally got a score of 28 centimeters. First attempt, 25 centimeters. Second attempt, 28 centimeters. Third attempt, 27 centimeters. Your highest score is 28 centimeters with a mean of 26.6. Using normative data, for this test, we can see that you are below average flexibility for females. So this is an area where we can improve your fitness and performance levels. To improve your flexibility, we should incorporate a regular routine of stretching. It is important that your body is warmed up before you start stretching to prevent injury. The stretches to be used would be static stretching, like shoulder stretches and tricep stretches for upper body flexibility, to improve range of movements for receiving and making a pass. Downward dog, which helps stretch hamstrings, calves. Also, dynamic stretching, like lunge with spinal twist and side bend stretch. And finally, PNF stretches, which stretch, contract, relax, and with a partner for hamstrings. You should be looking to do these stretches daily for 10 minutes in the morning and evening. And the PNF training stretches for 10 minutes within your warm-up at the start of your netball session to continuously improve your flexibility in your lower and upper body. Flexibility testing is important to measure the level of flexibility you currently have and shows us what level you should be working to achieve. Flexibility in netball is important as it will allow a greater range of motion, important for passing and receiving the ball and for changing direction without causing injury. However, the validity of this test for this client is limited as it only shows the flexibility in the hip and not in the upper body shoulders, which is also needed in changing direction and passing a netball. Despite this, the sit and reach test is a reliable test as it can be repeated to cancel out any human error. Data is widely available. The sit and reach test box is fairly cheap and would be a good idea for big schools or colleges. However, it can be more expensive and secondary schools or small colleges might feel it is not necessary for them to purchase. Sit-up test results. For your sit-up test, you managed to do 36 correct sit-ups in 1 minute. Looking at the normal data, we could see that your results were above average at good, from the range of 32 to 39. Although your sit-up test scores were good, we could still improve it by doing more weight-bearing exercises like sit-ups using 5 kg disc plates, weights of 20 reps and 3 sets. You should look to do this once a week for 45 minutes to prevent overworking your muscles, which may cause muscle injuries. It's important to do this test as it helps improve your muscular endurance, which will help your performance in netball as she will be able to maintain her running at a good level for longer periods in the match. However, the test focuses strength in the abdominals, so doesn't test muscular endurance in other areas of the body, for example in your legs. This means it is a valid test for abdominal muscular endurance, but not for the other muscular groups.